There's a moment in every human life when the mirror stops being an object and becomes a question. You walk past it, glance at it, and something inside you whispers, is this who I am becoming, or is this who I've allowed myself to become? I want you to hold that question in your mind. Let it sit there. Let it echo a little. Because today, we're not talking about a product. We're not talking about a beauty trend. We're not talking about what you rub, dab, pat, or smooth onto your skin. No, we're talking about something deeper, something ancient, something essential, something you were born with, and something you may have forgotten the ability to renew yourself, to restore yourself, to lift yourself from the inside out. My friends, the theme of our time together is this: castor oil for your face, the metaphor for returning to your truest self. Nature's Botox, the reminder that your real power comes from within. Ours are not from injections, not from quick fixes, not from anything artificial, but from reconnecting to the natural strength built into you since the day you arrived on this earth. And I want to be clear, today's message is not about what you put on your skin. It's about what you put into your life. It's about the habits, the attitudes, the beliefs, and the identities that you apply to yourself every single day, often without realizing it, and how you can choose to strip away the things that age your spirit and apply the things that renew your soul. So let's dive in. Today's speech has three big ideas, three transformations, three shifts that will change everything if you let them. Because the truth is simple. Your transformation begins the moment you stop waiting to be fixed and start choosing to be renewed. Let's begin. Ki.1 Armov beyond Glassy. CLERT boiled UPYTIM. There's a reason the metaphor of castor oil resonates with people. It's known as something that cleanses, something that removes impurities, something that clears what shouldn't be there. But remember, we're talking metaphorically. You and I know the real build up isn't on your face. It's on your identity. It's on your habits. It's on your beliefs. It's on the stories you repeat to yourself every day. We collect buildup the same way anything else does. A little residue from a past mistake, a little fear from a previous disappointment, a little self-doubt from a moment where we didn't show up the way we wanted to, a little shame from the times we felt not enough. And at first, it's invisible, then it becomes noticeable, then it becomes heavy, then it becomes the lens through which we see the world. I want you to think about something. How many layers of old beliefs are sitting on your life right now? How many outdated opinions, not yours, but borrowed from someone else, are clogging your vision of who you could be? How many times have you let a single comment from years ago influence your confidence today? How many times have you let someone else's judgment stain the way you see yourself? And let's be honest, how many times have you looked in the mirror and judged yourself through a filter that was never yours to begin with? The metaphor of cleansing isn't about your skin. It's about purifying your identity. It's about saying, I no longer allow what no longer serves me. I remember a moment years ago when I realized I was carrying the weight of expectations that were never mine. I was living a life built from other people's opinions, other people's comfort zones, other people's fears. And one day I asked myself, if I stripped all of that away, every opinion, every expectation, every label, who would I be? That question hit me like a storm, because deep down, I knew the truth. I hadn't seen the real me in a long time. And maybe you haven't seen the real you either. So here's the first transformation. You cannot step into your future if you're still wearing the residue of your past. You must cleanse emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You must remove the layers of self-limiting beliefs that have been aging your confidence, clouding your power, and dulling your passion. This is the starting point. This is the reset. This is where renewal begins. But cleansing isn't enough. Once you remove what doesn't belong, you must fill the space with something powerful. Which brings us to the second key point. K.2 numuis might meters. Think of the metaphor again. Castor oil, nature's Botox, symbolizes nourishment, natural support, inner strength, foundational health for the metaphorical self. But the truth is this: the most powerful nourishment in life isn't something you apply, it's something you become. You feed yourself with your habits, you feed yourself with your courage, you feed yourself with your choices, you feed yourself with the people you surround yourself with, and you feed yourself with the words you speak when no one else is listening. So let me ask you, so what are you feeding your identity? Growth or decay? Strength or weakness? Faith or fear? Possibility or limitation? Every day, thousands of thoughts cross your mind. Most of them are recycled from yesterday and the day before, and the day before that. And if you do not actively nourish your identity, your mind will feed you whatever is most familiar, not what is most empowering. You must be intentional about nourishing yourself. Let me share a story. Years ago, I worked with a leader, brilliant, charismatic, successful by every external measure. But inside, he felt hollow, empty, unseen. And he said something I'll never forget: I've been feeding everyone else, but I haven't fed myself in years. Maybe you relate to that. Maybe you've been giving to your job, giving to your family, giving to your obligations, giving to your responsibilities, and starving your spirit in the process. You cannot lead from emptiness. You cannot create from exhaustion. You cannot rise from depletion. You must nourish the deeper parts of yourself. But nourishment is not indulgence. Nourishment is alignment. It's giving yourself what your highest self requires to grow. So, what does nourishment look like? It looks like discipline. It looks like boundaries. It looks like saying no when no is necessary. It looks like waking up a little earlier to invest in yourself. It looks like surrounding yourself with people who challenge you. It looks like giving your dreams the respect they deserve. And most importantly, nourishment looks like speaking to yourself as if your voice creates your destiny, because it does. You must talk to yourself the way a warrior talks before battle. You must speak to yourself the way a champion speaks before stepping onto the field. You must breathe into yourself the way a leader breathes into a team before everything is on the line. Because guess what? Everything is on the line. Your identity, your potential, your future. When you nourish yourself consistently and powerfully, you begin to transform. You become firmer in your purpose. You become clearer in your direction. You become calmer in your challenges. You become stronger in your storms. But this leads us to the third and ultimate transformation, the one that changes the game entirely. KYPI3 RVO year tier UCL. A step int confidency you are bardo car ry. Once you cleanse away what doesn't belong, once you nourish what matters, you reach the most important stage of revelation, revealing the self you were always meant to be. This is the nature's Botox metaphor in its truest form, not an instant fix, not a surface illusion, but the appearance of something authentic, powerful, timeless, and real. You were not born insecure. You were not born afraid. You were not born doubting yourself. You were not born hiding your gifts from the world. Those were learned layered, accumulated, absorbed. But underneath all the buildup, the real you is still there, still brilliant, still powerful, still undeniable. And the world is starving to see that version of you. Let me tell you a truth that might shake you. There is a version of you would make the future you weep with pride. That version is not created by accident. It is revealed through intention. It's the version of you that walks into rooms with certainty, not because life is perfect, but because your identity is aligned. It's the version of you that speaks with clarity, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust your voice. It's the version of you that acts boldly, not because there is no fear, but because courage is your default setting. This is what I want for you. Not a new face, not a new mask, not a new persona, but the unveiling of the strongest, most confident, most authentic version of you. The version that was always there, the version waiting to be revealed. And let me tell you something powerful. When you reveal your true self, you do not just change your life, you change the lives around you. Your children feel it, your spouse feels it, your team feels it, your friends feel it, your community feels it. Because confidence is contagious, authenticity is magnetic, purpose is electrifying. You don't inspire people by being perfect. You inspire people by becoming real. And in this world, a world obsessed with filters, illusions, shortcuts, and surface level fixes, the rarest thing you can offer is your authentic self, your genuine strength, your honest courage, your unfiltered truth. That is the real glow. That is the real loathfulness. That is the real radiance people feel when you walk into a room. Because when you cleanse what doesn't belong, when you nourish what matters, when you reveal your true self, you become undeniable. You become unstoppable. You become unforgettable. T phenol cal THSICR Mumbi. So here we are. 3 transformations, 3 decisions, 3 shifts that could redefine your entire identity. Let go of the buildup. Feed what matters. Reveal who you truly are. Now the question becomes, what will you do with this moment? Will you let this be just another speech you heard, another inspiration you forget by tomorrow morning, another spark that fades when life gets noisy? Or will this be the moment where everything changes? Not in the world, not in your family, not in your job, but in you. Because the truth is simple that nothing in your life changes until you change. Nothing in your story evolves until you evolve. Nothing in your future shifts until you decide it must, Kai says. So I challenge you right here, right now, to make a decision to let go of the layers that have hidden your brilliance. A decision to feed your identity with strength, truth, and alignment. A decision to reveal the version of you that has been waiting for far too long. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your rebirth. Not because of a metaphor, not because of a trend, not because of a technique, but because deep inside you there is a fire that refuses to die, a truth that refuses to be silenced, a greatness that refuses to stay buried. You are not done. You are not finished. You are not even close to your limit. Your transformation begins the moment you choose it. Choose it now. Choose it boldly. Choose it fully. Choose it without hesitation. And when you walk out of this room or close this screen, I want the world to feel the shift inside you, because you are stepping into the most authentic, powerful, extraordinary version of yourself. And trust me, when the real you shows up, the world will never be the same.